Hey, howdy, and hello, and welcome to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails. I'm your host, Rob Wade, and I'm joined, as always, by my rock, the incomparable Blake Harmer.
G'day.
Hello.
I don't know why I did that.
I don't know either. Nevertheless, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
So we're here for episode 61. It's just me and Blake today. Everybody else had stuff going on. It's, life gets in the way, but not for us.
No, I have no life.
Sigh. Slow, sad sigh. So we'll start off with some sad news. So I want to say rest in peace to John Mahoney, who at the time of recording passed away yesterday. So John Mahoney was most famous for playing Martin Crane in Frasier, Frasier and Niles' dad. He was a wonderful actor. Everybody speaks very highly of him. And, it's very sad.
Oh, I agree with that. He was always definitely one of the funnier characters in the show. And it's quite, especially 77, that's not an old age to really...
Not anymore, no.
Not anymore to go at. I mean... I know you can go, he's had an all right innings, but
totally.
But at the same time, when you think most people live into their 80s these days,
90s, 100s.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson's dad, I think, is like granddad or something, is 100 now. The only reason I know that is because Mel Gibson turned up on Joe Rogan the other day with a doctor, and it was all about stem cell research.
Okay.
Basically, that's how they've prolonged the guy's life, is with stem cell stuff. It's like Mel Gibson. You see Mel Gibson, and it's like look at Rogan, and it's like 3.5 hours per show.
Okay.
And then Mel Gibson's on. It's like 1 hour and 10. I'm like, fuck. What did he say? It's like you're not bad for an Italian. Joe Rogan's like, I don't know, man.
Mel Gibson is one of those guys that somehow still maintains a carear.
He seems to be back, in a big way.
And has come back in quite a large fashion recently, despite having all of these very outlandish views.
A bit of a PR nightmare at one point, didn't he, really?
Don't get me wrong, I can name several of his films that I like. So, it's not that he's a bad actor, but obviously it's when you're like, I like his film, but... No,
not enough to like him.
Yeah, I'll just say, I don't want to like the film because I know he's a complete dick.
Well, I mean, the main thing to keep in mind is, much like when you like any kind of book from yesteryear, then, and obviously their views have changed since then. You don't have to like the artist, and you can still appreciate what they do. It's like Morrissey. I love his music, but he's a bellend.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, every time I read him in the paper, I'm just most every time. I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you want to roll out Leonard Nimoy, don't you?
Yeah,
shut up, you cunt.
Shut up, you cunt. Yeah, looking forward to that. Never on a t-shirt, just because I think that would probably be copyright nightmares.
Yeah.
So
the estate of Leonard Nimoy just open.
It's like, please take this away.
Yeah.
And what's more, the estate of Danny Dyer from Snatch. Don't know if he's in Snatch, but yeah.
We didn't know he catchphrased that saying.
No, apparently he did. Apparently he did. So this is episode 61.
Wow.
So we're coming up on 5 years of Crazy Trains now.
Stuck on my eyes.
I know. It's burned into my soul now.
Yeah.
That might be explaining this feeling.
It does make me feel weird that we've been doing it this long, but it's as I said, in some ways it feels like I've been doing it forever, but in other ways it feels like I haven't been doing it anywhere near 5 years.
Yeah,
long.
I know what you mean.
It feels like something that I know I've done it in my obviously we started off recording in my house, and obviously we moved there obviously because it was more convenient for yourself when you moved.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you had more space to record at your place.
A little bit more,
yeah.
More.
It just feels strange because I never really. But I go like, because even now when I look at my Facebook memories or whatever, I just go, shit, was that record that episode a year ago or 2 years ago? Or
this is the weird thing. It's just I keep getting notifications of like, there's a new Crazy Train. It's like, hang on, how have we only published 61? I get these all the fucking time.
Well, that's the thing. I was just like going. I know there's like an episode that's been popping up in our memories recently.
Yeah.
You get like
29, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it keeps popping up, and I just go. I swear Rob releases these on certain days. It's not every fucking day of the week.
Maybe that's the trick.
Maybe that's how you've done it because
God, if we had download numbers like we do and I'd been releasing a podcast every day, I'd be fucking miserable. I can deal with it if the fact I can deal with it if we're fucking obscure because we barely podcast for months at a time. But if it was daily, fuck me, I'd be gobsmacked.
Just be shouting into a vacuum.
Ah!
Yeah, welcome to the vacuum cast.
Yeah. So just before you came here, I thought you'd get a kick out of this.
Okay.
Jen was getting ready for bed, and so she, everybody has their routines. Hers in the evening is shower or bath, and then go to bed, read, maybe watch TV on the iPod or something, or iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And she decided that because you were imminent, she would go for a shower, and she walks through from here to the bedroom, and then she gets undressed and she's ready to go in the shower, and then she sees me in the doorway here, and she comes running over with her arms like that. And then she just goes, Titan. What? I thought you'd appreciate that because it's like Attack on Titan.
Okay, sorry.
Naked running at me with stupid arm movements. Stupid arm.
Okay.
Titan. And then I've got a new song, which is "Here Is My Naked Sexy Fiance."
Why does she move like this? It's weird.
Is she doing this to fuck with me? I got no more words.
There you go.
Anyway, so I put the call out to, because I knew it was just going to be the two of us.
Yeah. Okay.
I put the call out to the Twitterverse for us to accumulate some questions that would give us a chance to kind of flex our intellectual muscles. So you'll be pleased to know we actually got some, which is always nice.
Oh, good, yeah.
Although a small pet peeve...
If we were shouting into a vacuum, the questions would be hilarious.
Yeah. So a small pet peeve of mine. I shared this on Twitter and I wrote something like, we need your help. Send us all the questions you've got. No subject is off limits. Like ask us anything. Like anything you want. And to this...
Set the question, Kevin Spacey, yay or nay?
Yeah, well, quite so. So it's been retweeted 30 times.
Okay.
It's not inconsiderable.
No.
We got, I think, 6 questions. Okay. And it just...
We can make an episode out of that, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's more, I mean, to be honest, 30 would have been overkill, but nevertheless, I just feel like if you're going to share it, at least chuck something into the mix, even if it's just like, do you like peas or carrots more?
Peas, I guess.
Right, okay.
So join us for episode 62 next time.
Join us for episode 62, leeks or celery. So, what was nice actually is this actually ended up leading to a couple of Twitter discussions. Okay. So people would weigh in on these things and kind of add to them. So I've fleshed it out with the whole spiel. So at Rolling Jeremy, which is our friend Jeremy, who's a Talk Star Wars guy, but has also pretty much the hardest working member of our PR team apart from me.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of how often he shares. Cat's pretty good as well.
Cat's very good at sharing things.
Yes, indeed. And automation helps for me as well.
Yeah.
So he asks, Snow, why are we shit at it?
I don't know is the answer.
Yeah.
I think the key is I think we have so little snow normally.
Yeah.
But yet we cannot mobilise any sort of weather to deal with. Yeah, it doesn't take much to actually fuck us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe because we're not Russia, who are like covered in it in like most of the winter and they can't fucking move at all. And, and that's why they have to get sorted. Otherwise, the whole country would just grind to a halt.
Yeah.
I was going to try. I did almost try and be clever and just go, we know nothing.
No. We know nothing of snow. So then the Admit One Movies podcast, which is one of the Britpod scene pods.
Okay.
Very good to us, very, very kind in terms of like sharing our stuff and all that stuff. So we're always grateful for that. So he replied with, having just returned from the Alps where the buses were still running despite there being 3 meters of snow. Yeah, why are we so shit? To which Jeremy replied, even our snow is shit. It's true.
It's true. Well, I mean, like, at time of recording, like yesterday was probably the most snow we've had this winter after Feb. And
it's so shit that actually, when I got to work, nobody else had seen it.
Yeah, it was so crap. I saw that. It even got to a point where I actually looked outside and went, do you mind walking to the station, Cat? Because it was just looked that there was enough on the ground.
Walking with her, I take it.
Well, I had the week off, so
bullshit.
No, but she was like, because I had the week off, she's like, oh, can you give me a lift down the station? I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. But because it had snowed, I was just like,
you know what?
I don't particularly want to take the car out because it doesn't look like a lot of snow, but at the same time,
it don't take much.
It looks like enough to it to be icy as balls. So
it doesn't take much because Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we're British and fuck snow.
Yeah, seriously. It's one of those things, I think, when you're a kid, obviously you love snow because it's like you get to play in it.
Yeah, school
and it can shut your school down. Nowadays, I'm an adult and I've got shit to do. And I'm just like, fuck off, snow, you fucker.
But that's the thing. I would like snow to be one of two things. It'll either to be either not snow at all or snow so much that it shuts your place of work, so you have the day off and you can just relax and not worry about that. You can stay home and do other things. And even if we did a Skype recording of the Crater Train or something like that. Remind me to talk to you about that after this. I found but that's what I mean. We could make something else of our time and on our other hobbies and enjoy that, if you know what I mean. Yeah, totally. But
I could work from home, which is, to be fair, my more crushing reality. Yeah. It's fine.
I'm not allowed to grate unwashed into my house.
No, it's true. Yeah, you do have to have meetings with people. There is that. Yeah. Mine, my work let me work from home, which is usually pretty good. But I do find, I know some people like working from home, but it bores the tits off me. It's really, really dull. And it's just, I think it's because much like this and the kind of interaction with Twitterverse and things like that, especially with like Talk Star Wars and these podcasts and all the Britpod scene people and all the various podcasts I've interacted with over the years. Couple of shout outs: Wulong Talks, Roman Pod and Cast, Master Debaters, Talk Star Wars, obviously all the Star Wars Commonwealth shows, just to name a few. There are hundreds of the bloody things that I've interacted with, and most of them are fantastic and very nice. But I think I get something out of the social aspect of work quite significantly, to the point where when I don't have it, I'm so bored. And especially because if something goes wrong, like a technical thing that would normally I'd fix it at the office, if I can't fix it from where I am, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Turns out paint miniatures, but it happens. It's been known.
I suppose it's a bit like I think it's a bit like when you're say you're ill, for example, and you don't go to work. I think of illnesses. I'm okay with the first day that you're ill, because I think when you're ill, you're sort of like, obviously I feel awful. I'm just going to lay around a bit, but you enjoy the novelty because you're like, oh, that's all right. I don't have to worry about anything. I can just relax, focus on getting better, can watch what I want on telly or whatever. But come day 2, day 3, I am bored shitless.
This is it. Like I remember once I was on. I had a really bad it was just a really bad flu, and normally those sort of things don't affect me. I sort of get it out of my system, and within a couple of days, I've not missed any. Usually, I've not missed any work, and I'm able to, get by. And then occasionally a flu hits that will knock me the fuck out, and it will basically just take me down. And I remember I missed, I think, 2.5 days of work or something like that, because of it. So I went in, got sent home because I was, dead on my feet, came home, just basically dived into bed, and then spent the 2 days after that playing Xbox. Because that was pretty much all I was able to do, was just and then I went over to...
I can lie here being ill and with the telly on, console on, whatever.
Do you find, as a question of illness and stuff, when you're off from work, do you feel guilty about playing PlayStation?
I think, a little bit, but I think that's inherent in the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
Because it used to be that my parents were like, well, if you can't go to school, you can't...
Yeah.
Because I think it was like, if you're well enough to play video games, you're well enough to go to school.
Which is not how life works.
No, it isn't how life works.
You believe
at all.
it when you're a kid.
But I was a bit like, there's no difference to what I'm doing because I was sitting here watching films or watching telly. Yeah. The only difference is I've got a controller in my hand.
There's no difference whatsoever.
No.
But I always feel a little bit bad.
Yeah,
initially.
You feel a bit of a tinge, but it's not like I'm getting up, sitting at a desk and playing games on the PC either. I am sitting at the sofa normally, slumped out playing on that. Because I would argue if I was sitting at the PC playing a game, I was like, maybe I could have gone to work.
Yeah, but I mean, also obviously playing games generally isn't particularly straining on your mental state either. Unless it's like FTL.
No, I think the other thing is normally because similar thing. I was ill a few weeks ago, and that was with pretty horrible flu, and that was I was off for 3 days as a result of it. But I agree, it was I think the other part of it was I feel bad, but then first of all, you're worried about giving it to other people in the office,
which they always discourage you from doing anyway. Even though you say I'm
even
fine,
then,
I'm fine.
Yeah. Well, no, it's also that. But you say you're ill and don't want to give the germs to people, but then they try and guilt trip you afterwards, which I always think is a weird thing.
Yeah,
they say like,
we
don't want you to give the germs to anyone, and then when you have your back to work interview, it's like, oh, you must be careful about how much time you take off. I haven't been off for ages, and I've had 3 days off.
Yeah.
It's
like,
what do you want me to do? Do you want me to come in and give my germs to you or not?
Yeah, it's like, because I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
I was very happy to, and you sent me home.
I will happily do it. If anything, I didn't come in because I thought you wouldn't want me to.
I'll cough in your face right now.
Yeah.
Just...
But open your mouth.
Just say the word. Say the word. Just do it. Just go ahead. I will happily just straight up hock a loogie right down your gob.
That was the thing. It was also like, it was like a flu. It was almost felt like a relapse of the flu I had just before Christmas.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I sort of had like a stomach bug with it as well. So I was like, I just rang up work and said, not coming in because of that. Because I was like, you definitely don't want that. Even if you don't want the flu, you definitely don't want a stomach bug in the office either.
I'm shitting like a Catherine wheel. Thank you.
That's the other thing. You don't, as I said, in my line of work, obviously I have to talk to a lot of clients normally face to face a lot of the time. So it's also, if I have a flu, obviously talking to that and having no voice or whatever can be quite.
And making out with people's got to be weird.
I know.
If you're face to face interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, speaking of face to face interviews and misunderstanding things, Obviously, I work in sort of central London, so I'm walking, oftentimes I walk to Forbidden Planet. It's no secret. It's right down the road from my office, so I like to go. And I keep walking past phone boxes with those cards postcards in the window of pre-op transsexual, looking for kinky fun, phone this number or whatever. I don't know exactly what they say because I usually just kind of glance at them and then go, that is a sex thing, and walk on. Because, I'm a little bit...
I'm aware of sex things in phone booths. I'm not going near this.
I totally know what they are. Totally. So I saw one. It just caught my eye and it made me laugh because it was... it said, young girl new to London, in, out. And I was like... And I've learned since that what it means is they'll come to you... or you can go to them. So they've got a place. They've got a place you can go to if you need to be discreet, or you can come to. They can come to you.
I thought they were talking like Clockwork Orange.
I thought, do you really have to spell it out?
Hello, my droogs. Fancy a bit of the old in out and out.
We're gonna be fucking. So you don't have to be that prescriptive, surely. It's like just you can get away with
your knob goes in here.
Just loads of flashing arrows just pointing to the crotch. Yeah, but I don't know why, but it just tickled me. Sometimes things like that just make me laugh for no apparent reason other than because reasons. So Admit One Movies came out with a question of his own as well.
Okay.
Are cats misunderstood or just arseholes? I've tolerated my cat for nearly 14 years, but I'm coming around to the opinion that she's really just a dick. Now, you have 2 cats.
Yeah, as I say, coming from the owner of 2 cats, I have 2 cats, but they're 2 very different personalities.
Mm-hmm.
I have one who is obviously very intelligent, and I know is being a dick because they're trying it on.
Yeah,
it's quite obvious that they're being a dick because they're putting up a fuss or they want attention or something like that. But I mean, the fact that I've also known that I've done that and they will just ignore. I'll do something they want and then they'll just ignore me the rest of the day. It also makes me think, yep, you're definitely a dick.
Yeah.
The other one, which is Gigi, is
I have a problem sometimes getting them the right way around. I feel bad for that.
Gigi's the black and white one.
Black and white one.
Leia is the
mottled one. Yeah.
Gigi is just fucking vacant. I love them both to bits.
Of course,
I'd like to point this out because I know, especially as I know that my better half always listens to this.
Of course, but
she
probably agree.
I think the term "lovable douche" I think is the correct term because take today as mine. I've got this week off.
Yep.
I've been doing odds and sods about the day, getting jobs I wouldn't normally get done. You know,
it's always nice.
Nothing particularly planned. I'm just using up my holiday. I have to use my holiday up by the end of April, end of March. I always have more time off than Kat does, so I just tend to try and use it up. And I just like, oh, sorry, I'll have a week off to myself.
Yeah,
and and if I can get some other stuff done, but But yeah, so I'd taken Cat to work. I'd gone back. I'd made myself some breakfast, stuck a game on. Gigi came up to me, wanting a bit of attention. I was like, oh yeah, I have a bit of attention.
Boss.
But then I can only assume that even though she saw Catherine get up, get ready, go out of the front door and not return, she somehow thought that she was still upstairs in the bedroom.
Right.
So, because sometimes when we get up in the morning, sometimes I will get up, leave her up in bed on the weekend, and I'll play a game while she's still sleeping.
Okay.
And Gigi, because for some reason, Gigi wants both of us to be downstairs and in the room. So she will then proceed to go up the stairs,
bother her until she comes down,
howl at the door,
right,
until Cat gets up. And I mean, it's got so bad that sometimes I've had to lock Gigi in the dining room.
Wow.
Just so she'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But she did it today. And I was like,
I'm by myself.
There was no one else.
You watched her leave.
I left with her. I came back with her. She has not returned. She is. I just went. I even had to pick her up, open the door to the bedroom, go, it's empty. There is no one here.
Just pan her around so she just sees.
And then she was just roaming around, just mowing, and I go, what? And she just mows at me some more. But I never do. I think so. Yes, I agree. I think they are just dickheads.
Yeah, I think you're right. Do you know we used to have? Obviously, we don't have them now because we live in a flat. But yeah. Jen's had a cat before, and I've had cats when we were growing up. Our house had cats. We went through a fair few cats because we lived on a main road. So they had good lives, but then they would be prone to being run over. Unfortunately, it's the sad truth of it. Cars are more powerful than cats. This is physics.
Yeah.
And there was one cat in particular. What we used to do is we would go to places where they had rescue, or somebody just had a litter of kittens, and we'd pick one out each, like me and my sister, and one would be, they'd both be our cats, but that one would kind of be more like mine and one would be more like Sarah. And I remember Sarah chose hers because it fell out of the box. They were all kind of just, mewing and being cute, and then one of them climbed out the box and fell, face planted on the inside. She was like, I want that one. And
I want the broken one.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I don't know if your cats are indoor cats, right?
Yeah, I mean they're not like FIV or anything.
No,
they're
enough.
just we just I don't know. I think it's because Gigi is so fucking vacant. I think if I was to ever let them outside, they would just go and sit in the middle of the road and wait for death.
Sweet release.
And not for any fault of anything I've done or anything she does. I just think she's that stupid that she would get killed.
Fair enough.
I mean, if I'm doing work out in the back garden, I'll let them out there.
Yeah.
So they're not like they've never been outside before.
Yeah.
I just sort of monitor them, I think is the thing. Cause
I
do agree, there is no other animal you would just leave out apart from cats.
I mean, dogs for a bit, but not for a long time.
No, but you would have a leash and you would.
Or you'd be...
Yeah, you'd let him go if you're in a park or something. And just let him run around.
Or if they're in the back garden, just let them wander around the back garden.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing. I let them go there, but I wouldn't just kick them out and then leave them outside all day.
Circle of life.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But you see lots of people do it, and then you hear that the cats run away or all the cats gone run over, and I was just like, I don't even want to put myself through that. I don't know. Maybe I'm a weirdo in that sense because I feel like I'm the only person that does do it, that doesn't let them out. But I just don't like the idea. I mean, I'm happy for them to go outside. They have a whale of a time when they're outside in the back garden, but I don't like the idea of them going out the front door because basically, my house is basically a giant road outside my house.
It's true. And it's not particularly, it hasn't got a lot of visibility at the best of times for a human. So I imagine a cat would struggle.
I was just saying, and I see lots of, I don't see cats getting run over every day, but I do see lots of cats quickly scurrying under a road. Yeah, what shitty road would that be? I was
like, every time you open the door, thunk,
Monday.
Come on.
Flies over my head.
What the hell? Come on!
I just cleaned this garden.
So we used to have these cats, and one in particular used to really make us laugh because him and his brother used to play. We used to have wrestling figures, like the kind of just the ones with the arms that came up and down and the WWF.
Oh, like the old 90s.
Yeah, the old 90s action figures, but not the ones that
WWF ones.
They had WCW ones that were like solid one-piece solid resin.
Okay.
And you could still just about, like, you could, if you had Sting, he was sort of like that, so you could just about put somebody in a suplex, but it didn't look right.
Okay.
Not that the WWF ones did.
Yeah, no, the WWF ones, if memory serves, because I think I had a couple of them. I didn't get massively into wrestling until I was a bit older, and I got into like sort of Attitude Era, sort of thing. I think like we used to make it a thing where we always watched the Royal Rumble.
Nice.
And that was because we never used to watch wrestling, but we always watched the Royal Rumble because it was just fun to watch.
Oh, Royal Rumble's so much fun to watch.
And we never avidly followed, but it's only after it was just 1 year we just went, actually we do enjoy it. Let's start watching, and then we got into it for a good few years after that point. And I think the first one where we started getting into it was the Royal Rumble, which had the Triple H Mankind Street Fight.
Oh, 2000.
Yeah, I think that was when we went, right, I want to start watching this properly, and we actually did follow the feuds.
Let's watch it again, but properly this time.
And I think I watched it, I mean, I know I don't compete with Omer or anything like that.
No, but,
But I'd like to think I'm probably the well, apart from Spike, probably one of the lesser wrestling fans in the group.
You're probably middle out.
Yeah, probably. But it was after the takeover, I like the invasion.
Yeah.
And when it just felt like I got bored of it because it felt like they didn't know what they were doing with the storylines.
Yeah.
Triple H just always won.
Yep.
And I was just like, I just got bored because I was just like, there doesn't seem to be a good guy winning anymore. It just seemed to be, it's just Triple H burying everyone.
Yeah, there's a few
and that's when I stopped watching it because I just got bored of it,
Yeah, there are a few kind of high profile examples of bonehead decisions to have Triple H win in particular instances, like beating Goldberg.
And I know that someone like Omer will tell me statistically, actually Triple H has lost more matches than he's won.
Overall, yeah.
It doesn't feel like it. Though.
At the time, it wasn't probably true.
During that period, it felt like, oh yeah, here we go. He's going to do that. Someone's going to steal it, and he's gonna, someone's going to screw him over at the last minute, and Triple H is going to win. And that's what just happened every time. And I was just.
Yeah,
to the point that I was going like, is there really any point having? And it didn't help that people like Stone Cold had gone, obviously.
Yeah, because he was injured.
And I think he got fired, obviously, after the beating Deborah and all that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that old chestnut.
And I think a lot of people were obviously injured at the time, and I just don't think there was anyone really to compete with Triple H, you know. And I think The Rock had gone obviously into movies, and I think that was the point. I was like, and because. That was when I was surprised when I found out that Cena had become really, really massive, because when I knew Cena, he was shit.
Yeah, he was just like mid-cardy.
He was just a lower mid-card guy, and I didn't even... I just thought, he's pretending to be a chav.
Basically, but they made a pretty good gimmick out of that.
Yeah, and I didn't really think of it, because some people now look back and go, oh yeah, I miss him when he used to rap, and I was like, I don't. But there we are.
Yeah, if The Rock had ever had to PG up, he would have been in the same boat, I think. It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
And I think maybe that was it. Maybe it was the whole PG-13 era that happened after Attitude. I think might have spoiled it for me because obviously my fond memories are of that Mankind Triple H Street Fight. And,
which is
brutal. And even like when they had the 24-hour hardcore title.
Oh, I loved that stuff.
And those stuff I have really fond memories of, and used to love that. Like, even that. Was it like a four-way or three-way? I can't remember. It was Steve Blackman, Kane, and was it Big Show and someone else?
Oh, really? Okay, that sounds awesome.
It was one of these things. It was like it was either triple threat or a fatal four-way. I can't remember, but it was for the hardcore title. But it was I think it was like Steve Blackman, who I think was the current holding title. Kane, might be Raven or something like that. It was sort of
weird mishmash.
Yeah, it was a weird mishmash, but it was just like. Brutal because obviously the match went all the way through half of the building.
I used to love the bits where they had the 24-hour defense thing, especially when Crash Holly was champion, because they had him defend it at a play park, and he was like doing hurricane runners into ball pits and crazy.
Oh
shit
yes,
like
I remember that. Yeah, because that was the thing, because they would always just, as long as they brought a referee with them, they could get this coverage.
It was just so absurd.
I remember it being quite funny because they'll pin it, they'll become the title holder for like 3 seconds,
and then somebody clock them over the head,
and then they become champion, and then. Well, I think it was Crash Holly, wasn't it? Because Crash Holly would get beaten up, and then all of a sudden, at the last second, he'd steal it back and run away or something. Yeah.
He just managed to pin him quickly and then run.
But anyway, sorry, I realised, as is typical Crazy Train fashion,
completely that's what happens.
But
I forgot to explain that.
Yeah.
Sorry, episode 61.
I think everyone knows. But really.
Yeah, it's fine. To be honest, I think I should just do a promo spot somewhere, just like
and just go. Yeah, if you don't know what this is, maybe go and listen to an earlier episode.
Even one back would give. At least I do the explanation.
Yeah, go listen to episode 60. But anyway, sorry.
So cats.
In terms of the toys.
Oh,
I used to have. We did have a couple of toys bought for us, and I had a pair of. It was the Bushwhackers.
Oh yeah, yes.
And they did that. But I think when you lifted one of the arms up, he also did a stomp.
Oh yeah.
So I think you could have it as doing either a foot stomp, but also because of how I interpreted wrestling back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember that stomping on the ground as you punching him looked like you were punching them.
Yeah. So there you go.
So
I just went, like, wow, that's impressive.
It's a pretty correct adaptation of wrestling.
Anatomically correct and all that. Yeah. Like my Dr. Manhattan hero clicks and blue tack. So cats. We used to have cats, and we used to have the wrestling ring that went with the figures. Okay. And they were so small they could just fight. They just both climb into it and just beat the crap out of each other. Yeah. But one in particular, the cat that was my sister's, used to take great amounts of pleasure in bringing leaves in from outside, and it would basically act like, I killed this. Yeah. I killed this for you. Now, we'd had cats that had killed shit. Oh. And I mean killed some shit. Like, we'd had, half a frog, which is where I think we have a suspicion that that's where I gained my fear. Was as a child, I picked it up.
Yeah, that's justifiable.
It was not dead.
That's a justifiable thing. At least you can trace back your fear.
Maybe. Well, I'm only going by what people tell me because I have a terrible memory of childhood. Not as in it was bad. I just mean my memory is terrible of it. I don't remember it very well, is what I should have said. That would have worked a lot better. Harold!
I have demons.
Yeah. So many skeletons in my closet.
I was touched up in a reptile house.
So he used to be like, we used to, so we had my dad was telling me once, we had a half a frog come in via a cat, and I'm guessing it was the back half that got eaten. Okay. Because the front half was presumably on the floor. So as a toddler, I picked it up and it jumped away and I went, ah! Oh, right. Another time, my dad came home and he opened we had a door we went to the front door, hallway, and then we had another door that opened into the kitchen. And he opened the door and the cat came flying, like tear-assing through. My dad's like, what the fuck's got into the cat? And he walks into the kitchen and then he just becomes aware that something's in the room. Slowly looks up and he sees a fucking great seagull sat on top of the fridge. A particularly pissed off seagull.
How can that get?
That's a great question, to which none of us know the answer, because the only person that does know the answer is the cat. So yeah, my dad had to.
Was the cat running? Was the cat obviously carrying something?
I'm guessing so. I'm not sure how it worked.
But then again, you see seagulls. What the fuck? I mean, even a full-grown cat would have trouble carrying a fucking seagull.
Yeah, well, quite so. But yet here we are telling this story.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just genuinely impressed.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a bit like I remember seeing like on our roof. I saw on the roofs on the houses opposite where I am.
Yeah.
There was a cat. It obviously got onto the roof,
right?
And there were some crows on the roof.
Okay.
And it was obviously doing. Crow. But I was just sitting there going, there's only one way this is going to go, and that's a crow fucking you up.
There's only one way this is going to go. You'll be a pirate cat.
Yeah. With
no eyes.
Yeah. You were getting knifed, man.
I even throw a bottle of ginger, man.
I just like...
Yeah. Cats, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, yes, in answer to your question, yes, they are dicks.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to pick a fight. Because they choose, the people they pick a fight with are either birds like twice the size of them, like crows and
very
seagulls.
True. Yeah. Very true.
Can you imagine if they picked a fight with a raven? Fucking hell.
Mm. So, at Cloud Zombie.
I'm aware of her.
Yeah. If she's listening, sorry about the cat thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I say sorry, but she knows that I call Gigi a prick on a regular basis. So.
I say, to be fair, she might agree.
Yeah. To be honest, her mum's cats had, just going back very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember. I don't have really many memories of my old cat as a kid getting killing anything, although I'm sure it probably did. I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
Or it was covered up. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, mum and dad would probably might have stories about that.
Oh, entirely possible.
If there was, I don't have a recollection of it.
Mm.
I remember she apparently used to start fights with cats outside because she would be left outside, and it used to be this horrible like proper starting fights with other cats noise, and they just went, oh god, that sounds weird, like a weird alley cat's nearby or something. Yeah. And they moved, and the noise moved with them. Yeah,
as I say, just it's either a bunch of alley cats or the leader of the pack.
Yeah. Yeah. So this horrible howling noise, and they found out it was actually our old cat did it. Yep. Yeah. But I remember obviously from Catherine's mum's cats.
Yeah.
Her oldest cat, who is still alive,
right,
amazingly, and still in really good condition, caught a bat. No.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I mean, like you know, when they get to age, they don't clean themselves properly. But I mean, she's like 14 years old and like doesn't look.
One careful owner.
I'm assuming there's a
portrait. Till
July. I assume there's a picture in Kat's mum's loft of a cat getting older. It just seems
just
to be
a desiccated cat,
perfectly like. What? I'm fine.
Yeah, it's like whatever.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's just
just moisturised. When she was younger, she caught a bat.
Oh wow!
And I was like, that's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
catching birds. Yeah, I know they're fast and that, but a bat's like stupid fast.
Yeah, yeah, blimey, that's impressive.
And I remember their other cat Ziggy had also caught. There used to be like little lizards living under their house where they lived in Chatham Dean.
Right.
And
I thought you were going to say she had some problems underneath the house with the spiders from Mars.
Yeah.
And Ziggy,
funnily enough,
he played guitar, helpfully, and that's their one weakness.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I've listened to the song. Movie. Yeah, it's been a while since I've listened to the song.
It's a concept album, I suppose.
Yeah, fair enough.
So. They were like little lizards, and they used to come home and they used to be like headless lizards lying on the floor.
Yeah, but we had a few of those.
Yeah, they used to
slow worms and
kill
stuff.
them, but you obviously couldn't stomach it because they would do it and then throw up afterwards. So it just made it that even more lovely to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, not only do you have to clean up the lizard's body, there's like a puked up lizard's head somewhere further down that's just looking at you like, what the fuck?
Or possibly in the house somewhere that you'll find later.
Oh, good, like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah,
except nobody wins.
Yeah, the Easter egg hunt nobody wanted.
Yeah. Oh, good. I would sooner have developers credits than this shit.
It's the story of Jesus.
So, Cloud Zombie asks, will any of the newly acquired Suppressing Fire cast be joining you on the podcast in the near future? Also, will Spin Dash be returning to the Craze Train in the future, who, of course, is our friend Mark?
Yes.
It's been too long, and I'm sure he has some great stories of conventions to tell. So, well, I can answer these in two parts, I guess.
I'll let you take the floor on this one.
Yeah, right. So, the Suppressing Fire cast, I keep forgetting to extend the invite, but I do plan to, at the very least, extend the invitation to Dave and Robbie to join us at some point. Brad is obviously, familiar with the show, and he's been on sort of about half, roughly, I think. Probably a little bit less now, but, roughly half.
It also includes Brick Fury, and that obviously includes Joe and Ian. So
well, Joe's obviously done a few as well.
Joe's been on the show in the past, and...
oh my god!
I would love it if Ian came on, but
do you know what? I might just have to set that up.
Yeah, it's whether he would want to. I don't.
Yeah, know. Well, obviously we can discuss it with him next time we see him and see how we get on, because that would be something I would be very much up for doing. Or if not, it's not the. I'm not going to be offended if he doesn't want to, because obviously it's a bit different. Some people don't take to it as easily as we have.
I know some of the contributors, it's a bit difficult for them to make it down, like Aaron, for example.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing with Aaron. So, yeah, I'm hoping that one day I can work around that somehow. And then the second part to Mark, I spoke to Mark. I saw him a couple of weeks ago, and he is very much, he's still one of us. He's not, he doesn't see himself as anything other than one of us. He hasn't been able to make it down recently, but again, if I can find a way to work around it, then I will find a way to bring him back on, because that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I said, I know through Talk Star Wars, for example, you've obviously, I know you're going to talk about it later, but as I said, you've used Skype or FaceTime or whatever to do recordings.
Yeah, we do, yeah. Yeah, so we have there are logistic ways of doing it, and actually I've been testing a few this week. So, there may be
that might be a way. That might be a workaround if they can't make it here.
Plus, also I've got so I haven't announced this yet, but that's because there's nothing formally to announce. But I can say that I'm working on a couple of special one-off Crazy Train shows that will be slightly different takes on the usual format in some form. So, like I say, I'm not going to go into too much detail about those just yet because there's not really much to tell right now, but I'll talk to you about it offline and obviously you can hear about it. But so there you go. Kat, I hope that has answered your questions. And obviously, Kat, as an E14 contributor, the invite's open to you too.
Yeah, you can
just
if you want.
Putting it out there.
Yeah, that won't be quiet.
No. So, welcome to the Crazy Train. I'm your host, Rob, and I'm joined by Kat. And Blake. And I feel like there's some sort of plot going on to destroy me.
No.
So, we had another question from Adam Cox at the Lost Art of Podcasting. So, we've dealt with Adam before via email. He's does a show that's very much in our wheelhouse, like the Lost Art of Podcasting. Okay. And then he does the Lost Art of Wrestling, which is very much in Omer's wheelhouse. Yeah. So anytime we talk wrestling on the show, he probably loved about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Because, we talked a bit about wrestling, and that's always nice.
Even though he's gone, you should have stayed with it.
Yeah, stick with that, damn it. Well, you never know when that might turn up.
No, I've been bad. I mean, to be honest, I've been shown tapes of other stuff like, like...
New Japan
or...
Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, yeah. And, some of the stuff I see there, obviously, it does show that there is still good wrestling out there. It's just, obviously... I mean, to be honest, some of the more recent stuff I've seen, it sounds like WWE is getting back on track. So
seems like it's having a pretty good couple of weeks.
Having a bit more of a resurgence over the past... Even over the past year or so, I would say that they've... Yeah. Considering the big slump they had up that made me stop watching it, I think that, and I see like highlight reels and bits of, as I said, I didn't stay for all of it, but I saw some of WrestleMania obviously last year. And even then I was going, it's getting, the quality seems to be better, or they seem to be, it seems to be, it's newer blood, but they seem to be more reliant on the newer blood than like they used to be. Because I think the big problem is that they were so heavily reliant on the older blood. Yeah. They bring in that's what caused the slump at the end. Well, funnily enough,
so did you see the results of the Royal Rumble? Who actually walked away with the respective winners? Things?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
All right. Always.
Yeah. But was it Nakamura won?
Nakamura won the men's one, and then Asuka won the women's one. Okay. Basically, both winners were Japanese. Both winners are on their debut year on the main roster.
Good. Yeah. I mean, if anyone, we know that Nakamura is a good wrestler anyway.
Yeah. And he's going to face AJ Styles at Mania. Yeah. Which will be awesome.
And AJ Styles is awesome anyway. Yeah, so, exactly. I mean...
and the fact that AJ Styles is champ and it's his second championship...
I saw some people whinging about how AJ Styles is too old for it now. But I was just like...
He's clearly not, because he can still go. So it doesn't really matter.
Thought... Well, I must admit, I've not seen him recently, but I'm thinking of some of his... Seeing him back at like Ring of Honor days...
he was great.
That was
still
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I thought,
yeah,
I think it was like, and I remember seeing like that and Amazing Red, I think, when I was watching it, and they were both fantastic wrestlers.
Yeah, this is it, But you think, so Nakamura won the men's, Asuka won the women's. In the men's one, there was a moment in the last 6 where they had Balor, Nakamura, and third person whose name escapes me. And it was the final 6, and then there was Cena, Rey Mysterio, and I think Roman Reigns.
Oh, Rey Mysterio is back.
Yeah, he popped back in for the Rumble. And I think.
Oh yeah, because I know they normally do
a couple of guest spots. And there weren't that many this year. It was like mainly the surprises were, this person from NXT is in the Rumble, and then Rey Mysterio turned up. Dolph Ziggler came back because he's been away off TV for a few weeks. Okay, he was number 30, which everybody was really happy about. But that was about it, really. I can't recall any other ones. Oh, Hurricane. Hurricane came back in superhero gimmick midway through. Casino.
Rey Mysterio isn't back for good, though, was he? Or?
Not at this stage, no. Apparently,
I know sometimes, like a couple of years ago, obviously, Bubba Ray Dudley came back.
Yes, yeah. Apparently, Mysterio is kind of talking to them about coming back in some form. So, Maybe on the Cruiserweight show, because they got that 205 Live now, which is just Cruiserweights.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a sort of...
Yeah, they seem to... Because it's. I think that's where I think WWE is getting better, because I think they're branching out more.
Yeah.
And doing more different... You know, they're not... I remember at one point, obviously, they were going like, oh, they're the death of wrestling and that.
Yeah, I never really subscribed to that, because otherwise there would be no wrestling if it wasn't for WWE on TV in terms of TV.
But I
presence.
mean, but I remember obviously around that time they also push Billy Corgan.
Yeah,
but that
is it ridiculous? It's just this. What is this world?
But
a reality TV star's president and the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins owns WCW.
Yeah, I mean, are they dead now? Because I don't. Does Impact still exist,
I've lost track and stopped caring, to be honest.
I don't even know if they still have a show anymore. Or...
Fuck knows. I don't know. I'd say, the only thing I care about is that the people who are, if the people who've gone out of work as a result find work. But otherwise, I don't.
I'm sure they will. There's plenty of indie feds and other stuff. And
yeah, plus it's like it's people.
And I'm sure if there were bigger talent, I'm sure they'd swallow their pride and go to WWE.
Yeah, as long as
they sold off to Japan, probably more likely.
As long as WWE will have them ultimately, because one of them is Alberto Del Rio, and apparently he's not particularly popular because he's a bit of a dick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those people would probably sort off back to go to Japan or whatever,
or Mexico or whatever.
Yeah, because you can still make a fairly good money as a wrestler, I mean, and not be WWE.
Even now, that with there's the pretty burgeoning UK scene, and then there's obviously Ring of Honor and stuff in the States, and they come over quite a bit. It led to a really weird, surreal moment you'd never expect to see. Otherwise, there was an interview going on IGN with Jeff Goldblum about Ragnarok, obviously his Grandmaster, and he was reading the bloke's T-shirt, and you got to hear Jeff Goldblum, for no apparent reason, just go, "Breezango Fashion Police," and they were like, "Yeah, it's a wrestling thing." He's like, "Oh, you have you get wrestling here?" It's like, "Yeah, no, it's really big out in the UK. We've got our own scene as well." It's like, "Wow." No, he's really genuinely shocked. It's not like an Owen Wilson.
Yeah, I just heard you just turned into Owen Wilson.
Wow. Wrestling. Wow, wrestling. Wilson there, spot on. So Lost Art of Podcasting asks, you can go back and watch one film for the first time again. What do you pick? Bearing in mind, if it has a sequel, you don't forget about those. So basically, you get amnesia for the first time you watch it. You get amnesia of having watched a film, which kind of suggests, the way he's phrased it, it kind of suggests you either want to pick the last one in the series or a standalone film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was thinking, if I was to think of films that I've gone, like the credits roll and you go,
wow.
Yeah, that was...
Wow. Wow.
I mean, the first time when I was younger, when I saw The Matrix for the first time, for example.
Yeah.
And I remember going, the credits rolled, and I was like, that was fantastic. Yeah, that was like, that fucking hell.
Did it feel to you like The Matrix was a film with a perfect ending that didn't need to be explored at all?
It didn't need more film.
It didn't. It really didn't.
But that's the thing. I don't know if I want to rewatch the first film.
I realise...
Especially if my memory will be retained of the other dog shit sequels.
I realised
I'll go I've never seen the first one. But the other two are shit, so maybe I shouldn't.
I realised that the Wachowskis may have had sequels in mind when they came up with them.
I think it was more money driven.
Maybe.
Personally, I know they say, "Oh, there's going to be a sequel." When obviously it's a big hit, they always say, "Oh yeah, we got a sequel planned."
Oh, almost certainly. Yeah.
They're like, no.
They walk away and go, "Fuck."
It was just the thing is as someone said, they had an action movie that had philosophy in the background.
Yeah.
The problem with the other films is that they had philosophy with action movie in the background.
Yeah, and you're just like, this is not what I came to see.
No.
It's like,
and I mean, as my dad likes to point out and has actually shown me, and I have to agree with him, the best way to watch The Matrix Reloaded is basically just watch the fight scenes and fast forward.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because there's some brilliant bits in that film.
Yeah.
Like the highway scene is fantastic.
The highway scene's amazing.
That is a brilliant bit of action cinema there.
Totally agree.
Even the CG Thousand Smiths is a bit that didn't.
Yeah, a little ropey.
A little bit ropey, but I mean, it's not a terrible fight scene.
It's just one of those things.
It's just one of those ones where special effects is dated quite badly, I think.
It's overextension as well. I think it's like you could probably have, if they'd done a little less CG work here and there, and just kind of worked around it for other things, it might have dated less horribly.
Yeah, but I mean, I remember watching it the first time and going, "That's obviously not."
Yeah, Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, that's obviously not Hero. But it's even the bit where like he takes off to go fly away. It's obviously not Keanu Reeves in that bit.
No,
so even when at the point of release, I realised that's CG. It's obviously not particularly good CG, if you know what I mean. It's not,
I understand.
Well, okay, if we're going to use that argument, yes, I know it's not Peter Cushing.
No, no, sure, but that's actually at least not overextended. They put him in as few scenes as they need to.
No, I'm glad he was in the film.
Yes,
they did a very good job. In terms of the actor did very good.
Oh yeah,
I was half expecting him to be someone impersonating him, but you never saw him, if you know what I mean.
You just see him in
the back of his head, or
you'd see him in the window, and that's it.
Oh yeah. They could have just had the back of his head.
I'm glad they were bold.
Yeah, but I mean, I do also agree. Because I mean, I can't remember who it was that I was watching a video of someone on YouTube.
Yeah,
they were going, "Oh, it looks really good." You're like, but then they go, "No, it wasn't. I knew it was CG. It was very obviously CG."
He's dead. Of course, you know it's CG. Like this is the thing I don't get is that people say,
"Oh, whinging, going, oh no, it looked crap because it was CG." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I could tell it was CG, but they had the choice of either not having him in the film at all, which I think would have
made no sense,
which actually would have made it worse.
Yeah,
Either had him in, but it was all very." Not really talking to him. I'm going to talk to you through an intercom throughout the entire film. Or so I think that was their only option, and I think they did. I remember being like, okay, yes, I could tell it was CG, but I thought it was scary CG. It's a bit like Terminator Salvation when you first see Arnie turn up.
Yeah.
That was like going, that's scary because that's not only looking like Arnie, that's looking like Arnie from the 80s.
Yeah, and same with young Tony Stark in Civil War when they do that bit.
Yeah, that again, that's some very good bit.
Yeah, and young Jeff Bridges in not Jeff Bridges, Kurt Russell, fucking hell, in Guardians 2.
Yes,
wow.
So,
Jeff Bridges,
it's obviously very good.
A different film. Call me Rooster Cogburn.
I'm very happy that Kurt Russell is part of the Marvel universe.
Yes, I'm alright with that.
Yeah,
I would have preferred it as McCready from The Thing, but just bring him in. Fuck it. Just have him team up with Blade. Why not?
Fuck you too. Blows up a vampire.
Yeah. What he said. I didn't steal this.
Sorry. Going back to the original. That's difficult because I was thinking like, I suppose if I was to think of a film that was a singular film that did have that wow factor.
Wow.
Because I think that's the annoying thing. A lot of the films I can think of and go, oh, that's brilliant. I'll go, shit, they had a sequel.
Yeah.
Like The Raid.
Yes.
Absolutely blinding action film again, but annoyingly it's had a sequel.
Yes.
On the other hand, I love the sequel as well. It's over long, but it's... The problem is, I don't know if have you seen The Raid?
Yeah. First one I've seen. I haven't seen the second one.
The problem, the only reason the second one is long, is because they had to put some plot in somewhere.
Yes.
Otherwise, they couldn't really string it along.
Otherwise, it's just like cartilage.
Yeah, I mean,
exploding.
it is 2.5 hours long.
Yeah,
but it still has absolutely brilliant fight scenes.
Oh, it really does.
And I mean, like the first film, if you want more of the fight scenes that you saw in the first film, you won't be disappointed with the second one.
Yeah,
it is just a bit of a bum nummer because it's 2.5 hours long.
Bum nummer, nice.
Because they obviously had to put some scenes where there was some talking and some moving the plot along.
Otherwise, it's just like credits start, a film by.
Yeah, it's a bit like, I suppose you could argue, John Wick 2 a bit.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It might not be.
Yeah.
John Wick sort of has just enough plot to keep it going anyway.
Yeah, has the basics. And to be honest, with a film like that, you don't need it to be extensive and over the top. You need it to just be functional.
But also, it has just enough plot to make me go, I'm looking forward to the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking along these lines, actually. Dark City.
Oh, yeah, good choice.
I really love that film.
I was thinking, because originally I was going like, Inception was a similar sort of...
Yeah, that's a good shot.
Wow shot and was a singular film. But if they make Inception 2, then
that's me dicked.
That's me dicked from thinking that.
Yeah.
But yes, Dark City is a very good choice. I definitely agree with that.
Because it's standalone and it's got a nice kind of slow reveal.
That is one. I think it's probably because it's very cult, really, that it never got a sequel, really. But
Darker City.
But it has a sort of, I don't know, maybe they couldn't really do a sequel because I suppose it is sort of solved in the first.
Yeah,
pretty. It's a
thoroughly.
nice idea.
Yes,
and they could have,
There's certain films where you don't necessarily want a sequel, but you want to spend more time in that world.
Yeah, even if it was an offshoot or a prequel or another thing or something. I don't know, but I like the idea of the whole cuming or whatever they call it, isn't it? Is it cuming?
Tuning.
Tuning. Yeah. Okay. I knew it was a word like that, but yeah. So I mean, I just like that whole thing, and and any film where Richard O'Brien's a baddie is obviously great. So.
Yeah, for sure. Certain episodes of Crystal Maze where he's more of a dick than usual.
Fuck off, you cunt.
Fuck off. Yeah, Dark City might be on my list.
5 seconds of eating my ass.
And then 10 seconds in the Crystal Dome. But by which point you won't want to do it because you'll have just eaten ass. Event Horizon might be on my list as well, actually.
Again, great film.
Yeah.
Some people would argue it's like Paul Anderson's only good film. But
yeah, well, I mean, I quite like a few of his. Like, I like the original Mortal Kombat. I like Resident Evil.
The original Mortal Kombat is one of those films. It is of a time you would never get that film. Ever again.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't get that film now.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do if they made a Mortal Kombat film now. They probably would actually put a bit more effort in.
Maybe,
but it's just campy enough for it to work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that little bit crap, but still, but actually it tells the story of Mortal Kombat. A Mortal Kombat story is ludicrous anyway. So
it's very self-aware.
Yeah, and I think that's why. And all the actors are apart from Raiden. There's no real big actor in it. If you argue that
Christopher Lambert
is a big actor, but
he's
probably the only known actor
recognised. Recognisable.
Yeah. I think Shang Tsung's turned up in something.
Maybe, and also now since subsequent castings of Jax have ended up as Michael Jai White as Black Dynamite, as he's known as Jax, which is a pretty fucking amazing cast.
Okay.
Yeah. If you've never seen Black Dynamite, by the way, do.
Yeah, no, everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I've never actually seen it, but it did turn up on Netflix at one point.
At one point it did, yeah.
I know, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch it, and then I never got a chance.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. To be honest, if unless it's still on there, I will try and get it.
Yeah, at some point we can pop it on after this.
Yeah.
Might have time. If we do a short Gamecast, we can probably get away with it. Yeah,
we'll see.
Hello, welcome to the E14 Gamecast. We're going to go watch Black Dynamite. Bye.
And upload.
Breaking Dawn Part 2 on the condition that I then don't have to go back and rewatch it. Because I'd like to scrub my head of that farce.
I've only seen the first 2 movies.
You're better off.
And I only saw the first movie because I knew I was being forced to see the second movie.
I did realise there was one thing about Breaking Dawn Part 2 that I did like, and it was only a little thing, and it was nothing to do with the film itself. In the credits, they credited every actor who'd been in the series from start to finish. So even if they weren't in Breaking Dawn Part 2, they went through all the characters who played parts in the film, which I thought was a nice kind of,
that's nice.
Like an homage to your cast. Yeah. It's nice.
I mean, I watched the first Twilight, and I thought the first Twilight is okay. It's not my cup of tea,
no.
But I didn't think it was a bad film. I didn't think, it was obviously low budget. They didn't expect it to be the success it was, and they ran with it, and it was enjoyable for what it was. The second film was just dog shit, and made worse by the fact I saw it on opening night because surrounded by screaming children.
Yep.
To the point that I just wanted to shoot myself in the head.
I can believe it. I would be in the same boat. I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2 in a hotel room. I still wanted to blow my own brains out.
Yeah, it's because they're terrible movies.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
And the CG is atrocious. Considering the budget increase that the second film got, they obviously spent none of it on the special effects.
Indeed.
Because the wolves were awful.
Yeah.
I've seen better wolves than The Day After Tomorrow.
God. Fuck. Savage. Blake's just got the bitch claws out.
We all know how bad the wolves are in that film.
They do suck. So then Coxie also asks, favourite Simpsons episodes? Scorpio.
That is up there.
Well, who do you hate more, Italy or France? France. Nobody ever says Italy.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I might have to agree that is.
I really like.
It's a difficult one because there are so many good episodes in it.
Yeah,
it's a bit like I love the Treehouse of Horror episode, for example.
Yeah,
the one where Homer goes back in time with the toaster.
Yes,
I love that one. The whole
stupid bug,
don't change.
You got squished now.
Yeah. And I wish I hadn't sat upon that fish.
Oh, I wish I hadn't killed that fish.
It's just such a that one solo story alone is fucking hilarious. Especially when he gets his hand cut and stuck in the toaster twice in about the space of 10 seconds. With all the screaming.
Yeah. I like the episode where Flanders has an outburst and gets sent to anger management, even though he's like the most mild-mannered guy in the world, and he's got the hippie parents. And
yeah.
Well, he's a real loose.
Is that the Dick Tracy one? Yeah.
I'm Prune Face. Take that, Dick Tracy. Now I'm Prune Tracy. Take that.
Yeah, and he just gets muffled at the right second.
There are so many great episodes. The X-Files episode.
Yeah.
The Alien episode is so
hypnotic.
Good.
It's just like staring into a lava lamp.
The monorail episode.
Oh yeah, as I said, it's even things like the Burlesque House episode. With
it's
the
so
spring
good.
in Springfield and all that sort of it. It's just
great. There's
so many good episodes. It's very hard to choose one and say that is predominantly the best ever episode.
Yeah,
the Hank Scorpio one
is
very high up, and but I hate to say that because if someone was to then say, "Oh, what about this episode?" I'll go,
"Oh yeah,
oh shit, yeah. I didn't think of that."
I'm going to pick 3.
Okay,
right? Scorpio, Monorail, and the first ever the one where Sideshow Bob tries to frame Krusty for armed robbery.
Okay,
I love that episode because it's just that one. It's like I like detective and mysteries.
It's one of the ones I watched a lot as a kid, so it might be one of those ones that it's one probably I like because like with some of the older ones, I always go, "Oh, they're not as funny as not the most recent ones, but not as funny as some of the ones that came later." Because
seen them to death.
Probably because I've seen them to death, and I just know everything.
We had a couple of videos, VHSs of the early Simpsons episodes, and like we had the one where they get in the RV.
Oh yeah.
Where they got the cowboy guy selling in the RV. And, yeah, but yeah.
Because I quite like the ones with Brother. I think
Herb,
the
baby translation one and
the baby translation one, and obviously the
car.
But I mean, like if I was to think of an episode that actually again made me laugh a lot and probably is up there with the Scorpio episode. The Cape Fear Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, that one's great too. Yeah, I was just thinking about that one.
Yeah, and that's probably my favourite Sideshow Bob one.
To be honest, I don't know that there are many bad Sideshow Bob ones. I think he just Kelsey Grammer just adds a certain something to it, and also when his brother turns up.
The Sideshow Bob ones, I must admit, I didn't really see the more later ones. I suppose the one after Sideshow Cecil.
That's the one I got up to,
that was sort of where it appeared. I think I did see one afterwards, and I was just like. It was funny, but it wasn't as funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it was a bit like how I felt about Simpsons in general. And I thought, if Sideshow Bob can't even save it, then we're
pretty
doomed.
Much, yeah.
But,
well, I hope that answers your question, Coxie. Well, there's a lot of them, and we're having trouble deciding. But we've come up with a few good ones. So.
I can. Well, I know it's not an answer to the question, but I can. I was actually recently thinking, what was my favourite Futurama episode?
Out of interest, I'd be interested to hear it. Go.
I would, in a weird way. I would actually say the Star Trek episode is might be one.
Well, she.
Yeah, because it's just so many little bits. Like even like I'm going to use this machine gun to shoot them. That was fun. Yeah. It's just a little bit. Yeah, I'm not a massive Star Trek fan, but that episode has me laughing throughout.
Yeah, I really love the Slum Factory one. But it's mainly because of the first half where they're trying to get the bottle cap. And it's like, they got the X-ray machine.
Oh, yeah,
my
ball.
My sperm. And then it's like, I didn't hurt that time.
And the fucking Grunkalunkas. I was just worried about those I was just curious because of those armed guards. Grunkalunka, Dunkety Don guards.
Shut the hell up.
Well, they're the Grunkalunkas. Tell them I hate them.
Yeah, that's a good one. What else is there that's good in that one? Most of the Zach Brannigan episodes are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
What makes a man turn neutral?
But even the first one he did is just brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Champagne?
It's pronounced champagne. Oh God.
Yeah. Calling him back on the bird, like a bird. Birds don't call. They've been known to.
Go Brannigan's Law. Which law? Brannigan's Law.
And that's why you'll never make Captain.
Well, Kip, you're a friendly adversary, but you've earned my contempt once again. I've always been interested to hear what Phil Hartman would have done with it, because he was, before Billy West, he was supposed to be doing it, and then obviously tragically died. But yeah, I was curious about how his was, and Billy West has said it was completely different, but he hasn't said how. Because they've asked him.
I always thought it would be like
Brian McClure.
Yeah, it's
real shame that.
Which I think is why Billy West tried to do it like it, if you know.
Yeah, more like.
I must admit, even when you hear that band, you go, "Oh, that's got."
Yeah, a little bit of Troy McClure. Yeah. Right, so Coxie, I hope that answered your questions, and we gave you some bonus questions as well.
Yeah, basically, we love the works of Matt Groening.
Yeah. Basically, pretty much.
Basically, he should have just kept making Futurama and stopped making The Simpsons. But apart from that,
fine. Yeah, I'd have been all right with that. So,
like he wanted to.
Yeah, you get that impression certainly. So, last question, because actually we've been going for just over an hour anyway. So with a tidy up, it'll be probably about an hour by now, and then obviously we can go a bit more.
Yeah.
So this is from the 2 Songs, 2 Beers podcast.
Okay.
They were kind enough to leave us a 5-star review a while back, so that's how I recognise them.
Remember,
And obviously, songs and beers, we like those.
Yeah.
And we like podcasts as well. So
do they take 2 songs and they review them? Is it?
They play 2 songs, so I'll read it from the show notes. This is like how they describe it. So the 2 song, 2 beer system was born. They would play 2 songs to see if the hopefuls, so this is for people who want to be in a band, could actually operate a musical instrument, and then drink 2 beers with these potential new members to see if we like them as people. Beer podcasts tend to be very specific, so this is like an interesting take on it. Like you say, it's about a band who trying to get a band together, and they've been sort of using the show to audition them while having beers with them. And
are they just doing it as a made up band, or are they doing it as a? Because surely at some point they're going to go, "You're hired."
The question they ask us is, what should we name our band?
I
mean, I'm geeky.
What genre are you?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, if you know,
cause I don't want to just call you Caravan Death Inferno if you're like a country band.
Yeah, exactly. Like Fluffy Death Kill.
Yeah,
Fluffy Death Kill Unicorn. Folk, eh?
I've always wanted to make a death metal band called Caravan Death Inferno.
Yeah,
purely because I saw that once as the like outside a newsagent, the little bit on the thing, and that's what it just said. It just said headline Caravan Death Inferno. I just went,
I need to find out more.
That sounds like a good metal band.
I need to find out more about this. Yeah. So annoyingly, it doesn't say. So I'm just going to throw a few things out there that are beer themed.
Well, Caravan Death Inferno is patent pending. So can't have that one.
Logan Brow, but spelled Logan like Wolverine.
Okay,
maybe because that's beer and geeky stuff. So that's in our wheelhouse. They're British, so the Lager Louts.
Yeah.
I don't know if they drink at lager or ale. It's up to them, I guess. Let's see.
And their album be called 14 Songs and We're Pissed.
14 Songs and Shitface.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. There's your album title anyway.
Yeah, at the very least, you can have that. What about Beer Goggles? Yeah. I feel like if that's not already a pub covers band somewhere, it should be.
Yeah. Or,
It's tricky. This
is the thing. I was going. I don't want to come back going. Thanks for all those beer related ones. Actually, we just like drinking a couple of beers. We're not.
Yeah, we don't like it to be our thing.
Yeah, we're a Christian rock group.
It's fine. You can be Christian and drink beer. I think. Yeah. Can you? I don't even know.
Well, this is where we find... Well, I mean, hopefully with a podcast like 2 Beers that they're not like a straight edge band, but...
That would suck.
Yeah, if they do it, they're doing it wrong.
We play 2 songs and stare at 2 beers because they're evil.
Yeah. And stare into the souls of our prospective bandmates.
With Blake and I just staring each other down now, which makes for great radio.
Yeah, it's great radio, this.
Yeah. The whole thing is great radio. Fucker.
Yeah, If I knew your genre, I'd think I'd be able to come up with some better names. But yeah, as I said, I mean, like if you're cock rock, I mean, I'll give you my.
Yeah, here we go. That's a good.
Yeah, I'll give you my. If you're going for like a sort of hair metal sort of like that, I go for Iron Puma. That's what I was. Which was a band I made up while playing the game Umlaut.
Yes. So, if you've never played it, play it.
Yeah, if you never play it, it's basically I suppose it's a card/party game, really, with a sort of
weird twist.
Yeah, it's sort of got a bit of a role play element to it, where basically each of you plays as a band, and you have members in your band. So you make up the band, make up the names and their bits, and then you sort of take your band, and you have different things you can do in a turn. So you can either have a PR thing to get yourself known, or obviously you can challenge other players to gigs, and that obviously leads to its own card-based bit where you're challenging them.
Yeah,
you can practice, which can obviously improve some of your stats, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
it has this brilliant system. It's where you draw a card from a normal deck of 52 like regular playing cards, and depending on the outcome, it either goes well or goes badly, whatever you decide to do.
But either way,
either you narrate what happens, or the player to your left, I believe it is, narrates what happens.
Wasn't it? I thought
player
it was
to your right, or
either way, the player to your left.
Oh no! Sometimes it can go well and you narrate it. Sometimes it can go bad and you narrate it. And the other side of it is it can go well and the other person narrates it, or it can go bad and the other person narrates it. So it's depending on the outcome of the cards. Because I mean, sometimes it might go bad, but you have the saving grace of trying to make you retain some dignity of your band. But obviously, if your other guy goes it, then obviously it
doesn't go that way.
I think Rob's first go. Obviously, it's your only go, actually, isn't it? I don't think you've played.
I've only played it once.
Yeah. I think my favourite memory of it was. There are many bad things that can happen in a band's life. Chief among them is regicide.
Yes. Yeah, I was fond of that one.
Yeah, I think that line always sticks in my head. Yeah, it's got that sort of. If you've ever played a role-playing game with a good group of friends, and it's less about you getting through the story and it's more about you just pissing yourself with laughter.
Yeah,
Umlaut has that sort of effect. So
the Umlauts.
Yeah.
Okay,
go for the Umlauts.
Have that. Have the Umlauts, Iron Puma, Logan Brow.
Yeah, you can have Caravan Death Inferno, but only if you are actually a death metal band.
Yeah, beer goggles.
Or actually, no. I think if you're a Christian rock group, I think you can only have Caravan Death Inferno and no other name.
Yeah, fine.
It's sort of like a forced, a hostile takeover of your band.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So on that note, it's time to wrap up this episode of the Crazy Train podcast. So thank you to everybody who has written in questions. So thank you to Jeremy, thank you to Admit One Movies, thank you to Kat, and thank you to Coxie at the Lost Art of Podcasting and the Two Songs, Two Beers podcast. I don't always have first names for these people. I'm not on first name basis with every single one.
Sometimes you only have their handles. That's fine.
There you go. This is all I can do. So if you have enjoyed the show and you want to hear more, then you can go back through our illustrious back catalogue, which is over 100 hours of podcasts that we've provided over the last nearly 5 years across this podcast and the E14 Gamecast, which is the video game and tabletop podcast that we operate. You can do that by finding us on all of the following services. So Stitcher, iTunes, Podbean, Podchaser, Google Play Music, Spotify, Libsyn, other things. YouTube.
We're on most things.
We're on most things. You search the Crazy Train or the E14 Gamecast, you can find us on most things. You can even find us on Amazon Echo, as long as you know exactly what to say, as we established last episode, where it's really, really fiddly and annoying.
But I mean, you can, so as I said, we're definitely on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
If you search,
you are likely to find us.
If you search the Crazy Train podcast on Google, we're top result. So I'd be very surprised if we're not. Anyway,
fuck you, Ozzy.
Yeah, seriously. Well, podcast. That's what this is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he never thought to do that. So if he ever does, fuck me, we're boned.
Yeah, well, we're never going to take off that way.
No, it's tricky.
Unless we somehow get him on.
Yeah. So you can interact with us on social media like the aforementioned wonderful people who emailed in by emailing us at podcast@emotionally14.com. tweeting us at emotionally14 or visiting us on our E14 Facebook page, which is facebook.com/emotionally14. And you can also interact with us on social media. So, Blake, where might people do that?
You can find me on Instagram at fucksakeblake.
No, you can't.
Oh, no, that's Twitter.
Yep.
You can find me on Twitter at fucksakeblake. You can find me on Instagram at Harmer the Appreciator. And you can find me on Facebook.
If you can find him.
Yeah. To be honest, most people who've added me recently tend to be robots with large breasts. So,
marvellous.
Yeah.
Well, how the hell are you doing this? I need to know your secrets.
I don't know. Yeah, I just get a random thing from some random Czech lady, and whose profile picture is always them in their underwear. Just,
yeah, of course.
Because everyone does that.
Oh, totally. It's a totally normal thing. Or run around and just
funnily enough, I delete them.
Well, they run around going Titan attack.
Yeah. Yeah, but there you can find me on social media.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobWadeVision, and you can find everything I do that's not Emotionally 14 at talkstarwars.co.uk. If you wish to support Emotionally 14 in all we do, there is a support page on the website, which is really easily accessible at emotionally14.com. You can find loads of free ways to help, and you can find loads of ways that cost money, but there's t-shirts, you can buy humble bundles through us now, you can buy all sorts of PC games and everything. You can buy anything at all from Amazon using our widget. It doesn't cost you any extra, and we get a little bit of love along the way, which is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So those are all the things I can think of in terms of social media things. I think that's it, right?
I believe that's it. I mean,
cool. Well,
obviously there are other members of the E14,
there are, but they should
turn up.
They should turn up, and you can find them on the Team E14 page on the website. So if you want to find out more about some of the other people who turn up on the show, Brad, Omer, Spike, Crouch,
look him up.
Mark, as aforementioned Mark.
I'll do a plug for him. Brad's new book is came out recently.
Vietnam Black.
Yeah, Vietnam Black.
You can buy that on the website too.
Yep. Buy that through the website. It's released through Severed Press. Obviously, you can find it on Amazon as well.
Yep.
But as I said, buy it through the Amazon widget.
Yeah, there you go. And, like I say, it doesn't cost you any extra, and we get a little love for sending you their way. Even though you might have gone there already, Amazon don't have to know that. That can stay between us. So just keep it to yourself. Be cool, all right? Calm down. Everything's fine. Be cool.
Well, they just don't give us money anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll find any odd excuse not to give a shit. Anyway, thank you for listening to The Crazy Train, the comedy podcast with no rails from Emotionally 14. Peace.
Peace.